And a very, very warm welcome along, everybody. Happy Monday and happy September. We have made it through yet another month. We are on to the home straight of the year now, aren't we? Schools are starting back up, even now, many years after I've left school. It really does feel like the start of a new year on the 1st of September. Welcome into Canbay, to Gemma Barnes, to the wonderful Chad Northern, to Deadpool, to Royal K-Man, and to everybody else. We are live, of course, both here on YouTube and Twitch. Let's get that weird menu off the screen. And welcome into Jared King as well. It's a very conveniently timed Hawlucha challenge today. I wonder why we're running Hawlucha today. Kind of not really too much of a mystery, is it, if you're clued into certain events? But we ran Hawlucha many moons ago here on the channel, pre-challenge run patch. So I think it is about time that we give it another go. I do have Flamigo waiting in the wings, if you'll excuse the pun. If we've got the energy afterwards and if we get a really good time, I'll try and get, probably not a PB, but a good time with Flamigo. New Mega for ZA, never heard of it. Definitely just a very conveniently timed Hawlucha run today. But I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. There are a couple of bits I want to get through before we get started, and this is going to be the e-begging kind of stuff. Stuff the streamers have to do. First of all, if you are in the stream, please do leave a like. It really does help more and more people be able to see the stream. Secondly, if you're on Twitch, it's September, discount on subscriptions. I've also done a 35% discount on 5 or more gift subscriptions. Twitch has very generously let me do that. So that's also a thing. Other than that, make sure you have fun. Click the like button and we'll all be happy. Right, with that, let's take a look at our Hawlucha. Level 23, no, level 5 with 23 HP. A berry with detect and tackle. 15 in attack, 14 in defense, 13 in special attack, 12 in special defense, and 18 in speed. So fairly good. Wish that attack was slightly higher in favour of a little less special attack. But we shall see. Now, we won't get Swords Dance until level 56, so bit of a ways to go until that. But we do get some fairly good moves leveling up. Wing Attack at 16, Karate Chop at 11. Should see us fit. One thing I am going to do is I'm going to move Detect and Tackle round. And with that, let's get on with it. See how we go. How did I backport Flying Press? Snowy did, is the answer. It could get Sword Stance from the Gen 1 move tutor, but I very rushed this backport onto the challenge run patch. So I've not done anything like the move tutor or the dex number yet. I'm just going to very quickly get it to the right time of day. Victory Bell's going to be really interesting to run. Unbound. I think Victory Bell's a bit of a dark horse. I think we could do quite a bit with it. Especially after October as well. I do want to get Odish's line complete at some point, actually, on the main series. They keep him in the Pokemon Center to keep him in a safe place. You wouldn't want him just anywhere. At least if he's in the second floor of the Pokemon Center, they can keep tracks on him. Now this is going to be the very Gen 2 style of spamming tackle until we get a move that's better than tackle at the beginning of the challenge. Let's take on Rival 1. Favourite type combination? Ooh. Probably either Ice Psychic or Normal Psychic. Which gives you a very good indication as to what two of my favourite Pokemon in Gen 2 are. I do at some point want to automate this scene. Girafarig and Jinx are both really good for Gen 2. Jinx is a Pokemon that I think nobody has really unlocked her full potential yet. I think Jinx can easily get sub 105 in the right hands. Hisuian Zoroark, normal ghost, very good typing. Be interesting to play around with Curse, actually, with a Pokemon like that. And I think I might reopen the backporting little shop, as it were. Not shop, but like the backporting, you know the word I'm looking for. I'm opening up backport requests again, is what I'm trying to say. You'll have to bear with me today. I am not 100% with it. I had a very early morning appointment for me after a bit of a night of insomnia, so I'm running a little bit on the old fumes. I've had a couple of apple turnovers, actually, to try and give me a bit of a sugar boost. So hopefully they'll kick in and we'll stop the rumbling we had on Friday. Goodness me. My tummy was like a plane taking off that day, wasn't it? I've also decided I'm going to go back to just the blue thumbnails. All the others, they were worth a shot, but I don't quite like them as much as the traditional blue. It is apple crumble season. We're into really good apple season soon, hopefully. It's been very dry, though, so we never know. Electric flying is a good type combination. Oh, my PS4 when I had it. Goodness me. So loud. We're through the first big test of this gym. Getting through Birdkeeper Abe and his Spearow. Hisuian Zoroark's one I do want to do. Grass Dragon type, we've got Applin's line. So, Applin, Appleton, Diplin, not Dip, something else. And Hydrapple. Take advantage of this Pidgey not having any flying type moves. Oh, we do have a Alolan Executor as well. Completely forgot about that, and we've even got a backport of it. There we go, a few Hone Claws is all we need to get through gym number 1. In a time of just over 5 minutes. Oh, and Mega Sceptile. Plenty of Grass Dragons, if you know where to look. Mabostif's an interesting one. It's mostly sprite work holding me back from it. We do have Mega Sceptile, actually. When I did the Gen 3 starters, I backported their Megas. I do like that it was genuinely coincidental that Megas ended up coming back. Oh, I forgot that bloody repel again, didn't I? It's genuinely coincidental that Megas ended up coming back after I started the work on getting Mega Coding into Gen 2. We're going to get punished so hard for me probably actually picking up this repel. No, I didn't. That's fine. Although we'll take these rats. Nice bit of speed stat experience. Megas are a good gimmick. I'm nonplussed really on the Stoutland line. But then, I don't think it's a bad line. I've just never really had the exposure to its former proper opinion. For the most part, I prefer Megas over Gigantamax, apart from Gigantamax Kingler. Gigantamax Kingler is a very, very good design. I'd love to see Mega Plusle and Mega Minun. Still not feeling 100% comfortable with the routing again at the moment, but we are slowly getting there. I wish there was an option to not only customize how many adverts you have, both on YouTube and Twitch, but also customize the adverts around the display as well. Oh, we get a tiny mushroom. It is nice having Karate Chop here. It means we can one-shot these rats. Once we get Wing Attack as well, we should be fine for Bugsy's gym. Even though it's really resisted, I do think that Karate Chop's our best move against these rockets. See, because I use YouTube Premium, because I use YouTube as my main source of entertainment, honestly. I don't know how adverts work. Because instead of having like a Netflix subscription or a subscription to cable TV, I just subscribe to YouTube. First long-range forecasts for the season are out today, Kanbei, and it's showing likely to be this kind of wet regime going forwards. And even though long-range forecasts are notoriously unreliable, there are some signs that, at least here in the United Kingdom, might not be the warmest winter on record. Could be very, very chilly, actually. But of course, there's a lot that goes into weather forecasting. There's a lot that goes into even knowing what's going to happen 2 or 3 days out in advance. That's the worst Pokemon we could have got poisoned against. If we get unlucky with the Fury Attack rolls here, we might end up getting knocked out. In the Northern Hemisphere, at least, we are definitely through the hot part of the year now. We are onto it's getting chilly, and fairly quickly. We're also losing on average about 4 or 5 minutes of daylight per day at the moment. It's actually my least favourite time of year. I'm somebody who thrives on the long days and nights, especially because I do a lot of overnighters. So having it not be light quite as often isn't the best for the old mental health. There we go. Bugsy done. Good morning, Dan W. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. Nice to see you in again. One shot the Ghastly means we're not getting sent to sleep. One shot the Zubat means we're not getting confused. And then we'll just finish off this Croc. Very, very nice. Let's get ourselves into position for the Flash. Not the Flash, the Repel. And let's try doing good movement here. That is one of the big positives about the rain. It does mean that generally people aren't being loud outside because they don't want to be outside. All of you tackle fans, dry your eyes now. We are getting rid of it once and for all. Goodbye, tackle. You're a terrible move. I don't cope well with cold. I'm very much I like it warm. The warmer the better. To a point. Even I have my standards of, no, this is too hot or this is too humid. There we go. Through into Goldenrod. See, 20's nice for me. 20's really pleasant. I think lower than 20 and I find it a little nippy. Higher than about 33, 34 and I think, oh, maybe this is a little too warm. That is true. Tackle did get a buff in later gens. It absolutely needed it. I don't know how I'd cope with moving around for work very often. Yeah, I think the accuracy buff, to put it on a par with Scratch and Pound, is what it needed as opposed to the damage buff. I mean, don't get me wrong, the damage buff is nice. But it was definitely the lack of accuracy that held it back. We say no to submission, it's not a great move. Wing attack is a solid as heck move. Get a couple of punches. Not sure if we'll be using both of them. They are nice to have on the learn set. We'll take on this pair of miscreants down in the underground as well first. Thank you for your very kind words, Dirty. I hope you're doing well today. This song is talking about being a moth to your flame. We are a wrestling bird to your magnemite. I feel like Wing Attack went from being a very late game move in Gen 1 and 2 to being a very, very early game move in Gen 3. And it's never quite been in the placement where it's probably suiting its power. Also, I have a feeling, you know, that we are not doing correct damage here. We should be doing a lot more than that against the Miltank. I'm going to pause the timer here because I think we might be in technical issues with this one. Really do think we could be in technical issues. Because there's absolutely no way we shouldn't have one-shot that Clefairy. So we might have to go to the backup run. Which is very frustrating. But it really does feel like the damage calcs are off. I've been thinking it for a little while. So I tell you what, we will have to swap to somewhere else. Let me think. Live, desperate backup. I'll tell you what, I'll start a poll. I'll do the poll both on YouTube and Twitch. These are the two I have easily available to me. I don't have reverse shuckle on the challenge run patch. I'm so sorry about this, folks. Unfortunately, technical issues have meant that ZANGOOSE, Hawlucha, is a little bit busted, and not in the right way. It's busted the wrong way. We have accidentally nerfed it. It will be to do with flying press, because the code has changed ever so slightly since we last did Hawlucha. So that means that the code that I used before won't work. Or should I say the code that Snowy used before won't work. So I will get in touch with Snowy and ask them very nicely, can you help me please, because I broke it. And it's looking like we're going to be running the old ZANGOOSE. I'm not going to be unhappy about that. So it will unfortunately mean I'll have to take a little break. I'm not going to put adverts on or anything. I'm just going to have to take a little break to get everything set up. That's pretty much what happened. All the code ran into each other and smashed its face into each other and it all broke. So So it does look like we are going to be doing ZANGOOSE. Let me end both those polls. Overwhelming support for the ZANGOOSE, which does mean there's going to be a lot of pressure on me. And we all know how I fare under pressure. It'll be absolutely fine. I'm absolutely sure of it, hopefully. And if I just say it enough times, that'll come true. There are just a few bits I need to do in order to get it all working. I definitely believe in ZANGOOSE, so I'm not sure I believe so much in me. Goodness me, there's so much that I have to do as well in order to get a run done live on stream. Normally, I come in at least a little bit prepared. For this one, I've got nothing. So we'll have to see if this doesn't work. Oh, thank you for the £2 super chat campaign. Gotta go fast. I don't have alerts on this screen, but I've still got the Python scripts for when we do the chat locks. So I just had a big script come up in front of my face while I take this very quick break, recompose myself, because I'm not going to lie to you, I'm a little bit stressed about that. Why don't we all come up with a ZANGOOSE name? The code has cooperated with me for the longest time, so maybe this is my comeuppance. So I tell you what time are we at now? 14:27. I will be back at 1/2 the hour, and we shall see how it goes. Like I said, no adverts, just going to be straight back when I'm here. Ignore the timer as well. As soon as I've got everything done, I will be back live. And we are back. Thank you so much for your patience there. Let us go and set this Zangoose. Why is that saying Hawlucha? It lies. Can't get away from Hawlucha. Have the gremlins got into the system today or something? Oh, now we've got no game screen at all. It's one of those days, folks. Absolutely one of those days. We have a persistent Hawlucha. We shouldn't have a persistent Hawlucha, but we do have a persistent Hawlucha. I think Lance is advocating on the side of Hawlucha. It's a colourful bird, therefore he thinks it's dragon. 39,000th time as the charm. Zangoose, I have never been happier to see your name. I've forgotten Zangoose's learn set now as well. Could be worth going Hidden Power Ground. For safety, I'm going to go ground because I'm probably not playing at my absolute best today. Although rock could be handy as well. We'll go ground. We'll play it safe. We're not going for a proper PB on this one. We do want a streamed run though. Right, graphics reset. Nickname for the Zangoose. It's between Ricky and Esugnaz. We've got about 16 different spellings of Ricky here, so I tell you what, I'll spell it my own way. This is Ricky Lake. Right, overlay. We don't have a Hawlucha. Hawlucha's gone. Hawlucha's in the past. Hawlucha's old news. Now, is V2 of this mapper really V2, or is it... That's what I thought. V2 of the mapper is not V2. V2's the old one. V1 is now the new one. I need to sort my crap out. Right. Are we ready? Should we pretend the last half an hour, the last 33 minutes, did not happen? And to make things even better, I'm under a thunderstorm. So, touch wood, everything holds out for the next hour and a half to 2 hours. Let's get on with it. We don't know what could happen. Let's go. And please, for the love of everything that's holy, let's just get a stream and a run over the line. That's all we want at this point. See, I'm supposed to be better with words than numbers. Numbers to me are a means to an end, to backport things so that I can say words about them. Now, we are in one of the funky Gen 3 experience groups, which means these first few levels are going to be a slog. However, we do get Swords Dance at level 10, and Swords Dance at level 10 equates to a very, very nice time indeed. Unfortunately, we don't have immunity, so that does mean we can still get poisoned. So we shall have to see what happens. I know it's a disaster. Hawlucha's Damage calcs were broken. I am very proud of myself for not just resorting to a backup Ursaring, though. Because you all know me. Any chance I get to have Ursaring, I will take with both hands. Double Leah fail. Brilliant rival one there. Barring like a double crit, that's about as fast as we could do rival one. Didn't get caught in the grass either. Hugh, what's your name? It's triple question mark. I am going to do flashless again on this one. I'm going to try flashless on the bike as well. Gone are the days where we Sprout Tower in our runs. We're joining the future. We're getting into the 21st century at long last. Just doing it fashionably late. Now, ZANGOOSE is interesting to me as well because we do a lot more early game encounters. To try and balance out the experience, we'll be doing very few optionals later on. Quick attack. We can now attack even quicker. Also, what are our thoughts on doing Groudon, Kyogre and Rayquaza again soon? Just as regulars, not as megas. Because I reckon we could get some astonishing times with all three of them, if we play it right. But they'll be streamed Pokemon. I don't want to do redos, or too many redos of backports. And it has been almost a year since we did them. Also, don't forget, if you do want to play any of the backports, they are available on the website trainersquidgy.com. I release them all free of charge. All you need to do is follow the instructions and download the patch. If we get crit, we could get KO'd here. Played that a little bit riskier than I ought to have done, but it did pay off in the end. So let's take on Falconer. He is our first gym leader, a flying type specialist who leads with Pidgey. It's going to be 2 shots on the Pidgey. And then probably a 3 or 4 on the Pidgeotto, depending on the damage rolls. It was a 3 in the end. 430 for the Zephyr badge. Now, I'm not one normally to make predictions or give time estimates, because I always feel like you're setting yourself up for a fall. I really want to get this under 120 on stream today. Ideally, I'd get sub 115. But a lot of that is going to depend on these wilds to begin with. I do have the stream delay, but I feel like I'm at a point now where ZANGOOSE is half second nature. That I should be able to counteract some of that. I could borrow Elm's Repel, but I feel like playing it, at least feigning legit with how we're playing today. You have far more patience than I do, Gemma. I would not be able to hunt Shiny Charcadet. That is one of those ones I'm like, absolutely not. Oh, there's another thunderstorm over the town where I grew up. I've got a little lightning tracker on my phone that alerts me for thunderstorms in the vicinity. Mostly so that I can let the cat in if he's out. We are in an Aurora, a geomagnetic storm warning actually now. So hopefully there will be some kind of Aurora visible tonight. It's been so long since we had a persistent period of wet weather here in the United Kingdom, I've forgotten what rain feels like. It is localized entirely in my kitchen. Can you see it? No. No, Canbay, it's just the Northern Lights. Didn't mean to get Hyperantonied. We're going to rewind. There's absolutely no way we're doing this battle. The stream and title and thumbnail should have updated. Did I not do thumbnail? Did I not save? I didn't bloody save, did I? There we go. All sorted. See, it is normally cloudy all the time in the UK. But the last, call it 8-9 months, we have been in an exceptionally dry period for our country. No, you move the cursor 2 down after you're trying to teach the move, Squidge. That's how it works. Our summer, though, hasn't been particularly sunny. It's just been warm and humid. Well, it was the hottest summer on record in the UK this year. And it wasn't due to the extreme daytime temperatures, it was due to how warm the nights were. See, going in the southeast to London is cheating. I am very much a dry heat kind of person. But I live on the west coast, so any kind of heat for me is humid because I'm quite close to the sea. Although it does mean that the max temperatures are a little bit lower than they otherwise could have been. I'll be back, he says. I think living on an island, you'd kind of take for granted how close you really are to the coast, even in the middle of the country. This is Benny, not Bugsy. No, it's not, it's Josh. But yeah, living where I am in the UK, I really do need to take advantage of being near the sea more than I do at the moment. The words damp squib come to mind for Bugsy there. Let's get out of there. Got the good RNG against the Ghastly. One shot the Zubat. I always like the idea of travelling more than actually travelling. I find there's so much faff that goes into, especially travelling outside of the country, that a lot of the time it's too much effort. Because I am a nervous as heck flyer. Like, you see me on a plane, and I am hyperventilating from the second I get in the gate. Genuinely such a nervous flyer, and it's not even for fear of crashing. It's because I'm going to be packed in a metal cylinder for several hours with loads of people I don't know, and so much bloody noise and smells and tastes being weird because you're in a compression tube. It isn't the vibe, really. Welcoming Caden, I hope you're doing very well today. Oh, the bankers they take off. Oh. I wish I had a face cam, because the shudder I did thinking about that bank. Oh, no. But I'm great with roller coasters. Love roller coasters to bits. I just like my roller coasters because they're on a track. Planes, however, have the entire sky to play with. And that's scary. Showing my age here because it was cutting edge technology at the time, but thinking of roller coasters. Do any of you remember those really, really crappy virtual reality roller coasters that were just a van on some hydraulic prongs that just got shook about and they pretended you were going through space and stuff? Or was that just to the places I went? I think my first experience of one of those was at Butlins. Either in Pwllheli or Skegness. You scam artist, Vulpix. I think if they took those for what they were at face value, of like a really interesting set ride, those kind of van on stick roller coasters would have been great. Over here, at least, they bigged it up to be the best thing ever, like replacing actual roller coasters. I've not been to see if they still do them, but I'm going to assume they're still running on 90s CGI. And not the good 90s CGI, the cheap stuff. I just accepted my Juggler Owen fate today. To be fair, we could do with a little bit of speed stat experience, so that might work in our favour. Favour later on. Might work in our favour later on as well. Thank you, Seribot. Deleting the message before I even see it. Now, I shouldn't be taking on Alan, But I want to have a good litmus test as to how Headbutt's going to do. Not too shabby. I've been on a wooden roller coaster. As a kid, not really aware of what was going on, would say it's the best thing ever. As an adult, seeing how rickety that thing was, I would not touch it with a 10-foot barge pole. Sleep well, Caden. Thank you for popping in. Have a very nice night. We're going to spend all of our money now on 3 punches. They'll come in handy later on. For now, though, we'll get a little bit lost trying to navigate into the underground. Obviously, because we've got Swords Dance, we will primarily be using our physical attacks. But I'm thinking a trainer like Jasmine with her Steelix, it might be worth, just for one battle, utilising our Fire Punch against her. And then we can have the Ice Punch as a backup for Lance. Well, I think I've seen that type of roller coaster. There was one in Blackpool where it was 2 tracks zigzagging over each other. I think it was called the Grand National. Fairly certain it caught fire. I would give a very high chance of Stab, Swords Dance, Headbutt destroying Lance, let alone Stab, Return. Ha! You rock missed. Oh, we don't outspeed the mill tank. Alright, okay. Not the quickest Whitney split in the world. Definitely not going to be breaking any records. I think 2 times stab on a normal type would probably bring into question how quick can you make your overworld movement. Because your in-battle times and your in-battle stuff will not count. Apologies, got distracted there and forgot to pick up the squirt bottle. Let's get back there. Resync the timer as to where it should be. How did Hawlucha break the game? The damage calcs were all wrong. Flying Press did something to the code, and it wasn't the right thing to the code. So I think it was doing half damage. So we are doing our backup run instead. Sometimes happens, unfortunately, where a little bit of code doesn't get spotted in testing, because obviously when you're testing against early game wilds, you kinda don't notice the damage calcs going wrong. Flying press is something that I've not personally coded myself either. Snowy coded it, but Snowy coded it in a version of the game where it does work. This definitely is not on Snowy. This is on me mistranslating it onto the newer challenge run base form. Now, I don't really want to have to go and get hidden power for the Morty Basil, but I have a feeling we might have to. That nugget is one of my favourite nuggets to get. It's the cow poo nugget. Married couple are having a bit of an argument today, so they're staying split up. So Flying Press is supposed to run through the damage calcs twice. Once for Flying type, once for the Fighting type. I've a feeling that what's happening is everything's getting run with an additional Fighting type calc at the moment. I'm going to have to go into the code and double check. It could be the fact that I've got inverse battles coded into the challenge run base that's doing something with it as well, though. There are many different ifs and whats that could have happened. Which is why I decided, instead of trying to fix it on stream, which is what I would normally do, we'd just go for a backup. Because this one could take hours to diagnose, unfortunately. But don't fret, we will be back with an actual working Hawlucha. It's just me being stubborn as well, because I want to play it on the challenge run base. Welcome in DG777, I hope you're doing very well today. I might do a troubleshooting stream over on Twitch later in the week, try and figure it out. It's the kind of thing I could definitely do as a stream on Twitch, because I know it'll be interesting. It's just not the kind of YouTube audience-friendly thing. Like, YouTube will not be happy with me doing a full diagnosing stream where I'm barely talking. There will be Twitch language, very much expected on the coding. I don't want to give any guarantees as to when I'm going to finish the starters. They will be getting done in the next couple of weeks. I just need to pace myself a little bit better than I thought. Like, I overdid it, doing all three in one. But I would say definitely by middle of the month. Sod it, we'll have to take the cutscene. We need hidden power ground for this. I have totally messed this up. Like, really badly. You get off to a bit of a rocky start, and then suddenly all your autopilot goes slightly wrong. Let's do our shopping here and pretend that didn't happen. 12 super repels. We'll teleport back. We'll be lucky to get sub 120 now. I backported this growth rate. This is a me thing. Welcome in, Hawlucha. I hope you're doing well today. Snowy has done it better than how I have done it in terms of like code efficiency. But yeah, this one is a me thing. I did it as a lookup table of these are hard coded. These are the exact numbers we have at every level. That way I know that the coding won't go to complete bollocks. A look right table is best, followed by a look left, and then you cross the road. I would agree that ZANGOOSE needs an evolution in the sense design-wise. Power-wise, a ZANGOOSE evolution would fill most of Johto, a significant part of Kanto, most of Hoenn, a lot of Unova, and all of Paldea with a sense of fear and dread that will have never been seen in a Pokemon game before. Can I just say yes to your question, Metal Hammer, and smile and nod and pretend that I know what that means? I'm one of those very awkward people when it comes to coding. Like, I know what I'm doing because I've learnt how to do it by being practical and doing it. I don't have a Scooby what any of it really means. I just know that if I type this in and do things in a certain way, this will happen. It's part of the reason why I'm not actually that confident coding backports on stream. Because most of the time I'm just guessing. Like a solid 99% of it is, if I do this thingy with the doodad there, then it might work. Don't swear at me, Ghastly. Never like coming onto this battle in a multiple of 4 for the HP. Didn't matter this time though. Morty is down. Fog Badge acquired. Meow. Oh, we've been K-lead. I can actually, see a routing where dig could be useful on ZANGOOSE, but I'll stick with what I know for now. I reckon ZANGOOSE is one we'll be coming back to quite a bit. Because one of the things I am trying to remind myself is it okay to do the same Pokemon multiple times. I don't have to keep swapping around. I mean, I've seen the title card come up before for wrong trainers. I've never seen it come up for a boulder. That's a new one even for me. Here is Chuck. Fighting type specialist. Leads with Primate. There was Chuck, fighting type specialist, led with Primate. I feel it's far more than 20%. Most streamers are concealing their premature title cards behind bravado and machoism. Grr, I am big buff streamer man. God, could you imagine? This is me, probably camper than a row of pink tents, honestly. Pretending to be all big and budge. Ooh, that was closer than I thought. Lance says he streams there, but then doesn't. Oh, I've already been here. Let's go. He plays repeats of one stream over and over again. I don't even know why I picked up those rare candies. We're not going to need them. I've just had a really stupid idea, and you're all going to have to talk me out of it. You know, I've got the gym leader challenges on the way. We could do a Lance special, where the entire purpose of the stream is that we all lie and gaslight each other as much as possible. This is very much playing for the range. We've won. Play for the range, play for the burn. We ain't lying and gaslighting yet. That would actually be really fun. What the hell? What on earth has gone on with my overlay? Did anyone else see that? How ZANGOOSE is taking from Ursaring into Ursaluna's lead. I went into Mahogany Pokémon Center, and all of a sudden it was saying we were an Ivysaur holding an Ultra Ball with 65,000 in attack. That's a glitch I have never seen before. No, Ursaring evolves into Nidorino. ZANGOOSE evolves simultaneously into Ivysaur and Poliwhirl, but not with Ivysaur and Poliwhirl's stats. You multiply the stats of both of them together, and that's what shows up in the overlay, and your Charcoal becomes an Ultra Ball. Because why not? Why not have one of those? Oh, and there was a Clefable for a moment. Just lopped bits of ZANGOOSE's fur off and grew them in a vase like you do with plant cuttings, except the DNA went a little bit wonky. I'm going to blame the solar storm that's come in for the tech issues today. Because it hasn't just been on stream, I've had tech issues all day. According to the Met Office, they issued a G4 solar magnetic storm warning. Running from noon today until 9 AM on Wednesday morning, United Kingdom time. The house over the road where I grew up, their burglar alarm box got struck by lightning. Which was very dangerous, thinking about it. Welcome in, Atlas Lion. I hope you're doing very well today. I hate this battle. So according to the Met Office, We have a G4 Stormwatch. Oh, you've got to be shitting me. Apologies for the swear. What a scuff, ZANGOOSE. We got frozen by that pile of shite. We are at 7 badges now as well, which does mean that we are going to take a very quick break in just a moment. Before we do that, though, I feel like we have to at least, and please don't take this seriously, I'm going to put the goal up. And Squidge can say the bad words. It is a rare pile of swine W. It's a sad day for ZANGOOSE. So we do normally take a break after 7 minutes. 7 minutes, 7 badges. So every so often we have a chat goal here to allow me to really let loose and stop moderating my language quite as much as normal. Thank you, Metal Hammer, for the €5 super chat. That does get us 1/5 of the way towards letting me express my frustration, shall we say. Oh, what an absolute crapshoot today's stream has been because of not just the technical issues, but I have been playing like absolute garbage as well. Let's be honest here. This is not going on any kind of like highlight show reel for Squidgy Plays Well. Squidgy is a bit of an idiot sometimes and forgets how to play the video game that he's played nearly every day for 3 years. Kambe, thank you for the £2 super chat, getting us even closer. On the overlay, please. Eventually, there we go. You get a Bellsprout for your troubles. I'm assuming it's because I've got an ancient YouTube account. And they're like, this person's far too old. You do get Pokémon 69. And we fit every friggin' optional as well. Right, so we are at 7 badges in. I'll do the vitamins, which is ostensibly going to be sell a load of crap that we don't need and put it all in protein. Bloody hell, Dan. You are far too bloody kind. Thank you for the $49.99 super chat. Let me put some love on all of those as they come through. Mistakes happen, the stream's doing great, and honestly, you enjoy the group of people in chat. Let loose and have fun. That is all I could ever ask for in stream. All I want to do is make people smile. I like being a bit of a goof. I've got to be honest, I am a giant ham. I will throw myself into the drama, as it were. Because it's fun, isn't it? And as long as you all leave with at least a glimmer of a smile on your face, then I know I'm doing something right. And that's all that we can really ask for in this world, isn't it? Just to have a little bit of fun, a little bit of decompression from real-world crap that happens. And to try and really just spread a little bit of positivity. Because if me playing like an absolute dickhead in Pokemon Crystal brings you enjoyment, then I will keep doing it for years and years and years to come. I'm going to keep the timer paused now until we are back from the break, because I realised I wasn't playing the game and the timer was still running. So we'll resync that way instead. I'll just do the rest of my vitamins. Timer still isn't paused. Right, we owe ourselves about 2.5, 3 minutes when we get back. So I am now going to take a very quick actual break. We have been live for pretty much an hour now without a break. Thank you once again to everybody for the super chats so far. It really has been very, very kind of you. I'm going to take a very quick 3-minute break. We shall be back at around about 25, 26 minutes past for the second part of this backup ZANGOOSE challenge. And we are back. Thank you so much for your patience there. I got a little bit distracted then. I was too busy lurking on Kim's, seeing what she was doing. Thank you so much for your patience there. We are back to do the dreaded radio tower. We are going to keep the timer paused a little bit longer because we did accidentally leave it running while I was saying my thank yous to some very wonderful people. And before I forget, Dan, because you have done... What colour do they call that? Magenta, purple... What colour is that? You all know me. I don't know the colour of that one on the top of the screen. Because it's that tier or above, you can now put in a backport request, and I will try my best to make it. And then run it either on stream or send it to you if you're in the Discord. But that will be your backport for you to keep forever and a day. It's not something I like to advertise because I don't want to make it seem like I'm selling the backports, but it's just a little something extra I like to do for people who are in the position to be able to help out like that. I do have a Discord. You know what? While the timer's paused, I should probably get a link up, shouldn't I? Six-hour Discord link. Use copy button. You can pook and luke and walk for it. There you go. If you answer the Discord, 6-hour invite link. You can't type to save your life, and I can't talk to save my life. So, between us, we are fantastic together on a stream. We shall unpause here. Feels about right. What's returns power? 91. Right, we can start mooching our way through these headbutts. We'll use our final one against the Porygon. And then we'll swap to a return. Now, with our current learn set of Return and Hidden Power Ground, the only Pokemon that's going to resist one of those two moves that we come up against is going to be good old Scarodactyl. Thank you, Alajango, for the very kind £3.50 super chat. Bad words, good words, you say. We are 4/5 of the way there to making this one of those streams. And we all like one of those streams, don't we? Bloody hell. There's something in the air today. I can't tell you what it is, but there's definitely something in the air. It could be the fact that I am on next to no sleep. But there's definitely something a little bit fun in the air. I did actually have a comment. God, it must have been about a year and a half ago now. On a stream not too dissimilar to this, where we had a bit of a disaster run. A bit of a disaster stream, as sometimes happens. And they were convinced that I was completely off my tits, either on some kind of illicit substance or had had a couple too many to drink. This is just me. I'm like this, sober. I don't need the drink to be an absolute head case at times. Ooh, climbing a mountain in Wales sounds like a very fun time. Last time I went mountain climbing in Wales, it was far longer ago than I care to admit. I climbed up Cymidwell, up in North Wales. Lovely, lovely, lovely view there. But we're talking nearly 20 years since I was last up in that part of the world. I do love I love both North and South Wales. But my father is from Rhyl. Not that I see him at all, but he is from Rhyl. So I am vaguely familiar with the area. And my father-in-law is from Cardiff, so top and tail of Cymru for father and father-in-law. Ooh, I am nowhere near ambitious enough to even consider... Oh, bollocks. I'm nowhere near ambitious enough to even consider Snowdonia. Time are we at now? 3:30. The temptation, you know, to just do another ZANGOOSE straight afterwards is incredibly high. We'll have to see how time goes. Also, not 100% sure on schedules for the next couple of weeks. I've got an appointment on Wednesday next week, so I definitely won't be on Wednesday. Because that appointment's a 1 PM appointment. But I am eventually going to try and be doing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday on stream and keeping my appointments too early in the week. It takes a little bit of time to sync everything up. Considering how badly I've played, overall, a 50-minute radio tower isn't as terrible as it could have been. And thank you to Kanbei for being the exclusive member of Team 11212, and I messed that up quite spectacularly there. Glad I caught that. We'll use an ether if need be. For some reason, my brain is forgetting the extra beat at the moment of you have to press yes to then answer 11212. Oh, that is the absolute worst. When you think you're fine, especially after a lot of physical exertion, the next day you're fine. The day after, you're like, what the hell has gone on? Why am I feeling pain in muscles that I didn't know I had? I really hope you don't get peak pain, Alajango. It is a 10 out of 10 pun. You know what, I don't even think that would have been a viable range, even with the pink bow. Thank you for joining the Discord. I will make sure you get all your rolls straight after this stream. Now, I am actually going to have to take a very quick break after the league as well, because I really need the loo. Normally, I go to the loo straight before streaming, but I was a little bit rushed for time. So we're going to have a bit of a very quick pee break. Just means I'm more inclined to do the league as quickly as we can. That starts with Claire shutting up. Oh, that's the one downside to air fryers. You can't quite fit a pizza in them. Need to get like a mega-sized air fryer for it. I mean, if they used to be able to and now they can't, hopefully that means that they've had the opposite of shrinkflation and they've gotten bigger. They've inflated their size, which can only be good. More food generally is better. See, because I don't eat cheese, and I don't like the fake cheese substitute, I've never had to try and put a pizza in the air fryer. You wanted to swear, but YouTube censored it. Thank you so fucking much, Cambe, for the £2 super chat. That does mean we have reached our fucking goal for this one, and I can now F and Jeff as much as I like. Which, honestly, after the shit show that was the start of this one, it's kind of a relief. So let us tell this rival to get fucked, and then when he's fucked off, he can fuck off some more, and when he thinks he's fucked off enough, he can fuck off even more. So fuck you on the horse you rode in on, mate. Let's do a heal. Let's try and salvage this. Will, he's crap, but he has a nasty habit of fucking you over just when you think you've got it. I am prim and proper and professional-ish on my videos. Stream is where I let loose. Twitch is where I really, really just... What's the word I'm looking for? Not take the clothes off. Take something off the cart. You know what I mean. I let loose. I don't take my clothes off. I'm not that kind of streamer. Although for the right price, I could be that kind of streamer. You just would never know if I'm lying or not because I don't show my face. Not take the gloves off, because that means, like... There's a word and a saying, and you know what I'm like with those. I'm absolutely fucking bollocks at getting the right sayings. See, my old line of work was remote casinos, along with a trip to... Oh, you absolute twat! Along with Also doing some work in the Department for Work and Pensions, so never really sworn at work. You catch me in the break room in any of those places, and that's where it comes out. Ha, up yours. Should have been holding the pink bow. Thought we wouldn't need it. Just gonna have to return the onyx to the Shadow Realm, really. Right, it's time for everyone's favourite arsehole. It's time for Karen. Did I even buy any full restores? No, oh, bloody hell. No, I didn't. Let us show this absolute trollop once and for all what we think of her. We have Taunt. That is the giant fuck you to Karen button. Oh, shit. That is us showing a collective middle finger to Karen for all those times she has fucked our runs over in the past. And now it is time for Lance in the pants. Semi-perfect, Karen. I did fuck up one move, but it's fine. The other thing is, YouTube has also changed how it detects content. And, like, because of this whole detecting age thing, my content actually had a very, very high chance of them being designated as for kids. So these streams help balance things out so that YouTube knows, no, I'm not a child's channel. Honestly, considering all the amount of bullshit and fuck-ups we had, getting 1 hour and 33 seconds through the league is not bad at all. Now, I'm going to take a very, very quick break, because otherwise I am so busting for a piss that I can't even uncross my legs. I need to run to the bog. I'll be as quick as I fucking can. And we are back. Thank you so much for your patience there. Let me just dry my hands off properly. And then we shall get back on with it. I think that's the first time in a very long time where I've had to rush off to the loo midway through. We're on the easy part of this one now, though. The end is very much in sight. Stanley's down. That is the trouble. It will... Any kind of, like, detection of content will be AI as opposed to nuanced. And with me being incredibly family-friendly... Didn't need to get this rare candy. For the most part. Playing a children's game... I'm prime up there for being told, no, your content is for kids. You don't get the proper advertising. You don't get comments anymore. Because even though when I upload, I get the option to say this is or this is not for children. There have been instances, I see it quite a lot on Twitter, of content creators saying no, their content is not for children, and YouTube overriding that. And that honestly is fucking terrifying. I would feel in a much worse situation if I was playing a more recent Pokemon game. Exactly, some creators do lie for the ad revenue. Whereas I take lower ad revenue on my channel. If you ever see adverts on my channel, they're not the hyper-personalised that some channels do. This is Kaizo-ish, in the sense that we pick a Pokemon and we see how quickly we can beat the game at full-time speed. We can feint. We shouldn't have fainted on this one, but we had a couple of absolute shockers of gym battles. But the objective is to just have ZANGOOSE battle. No other Pokemon is allowed to battle. And we'll see how well it goes. ZANGOOSE is not a Generation 2 native Pokemon, though. We did some coding, got it into the game. And now we're seeing exactly how it fares. Exactly, it's standard Crystal, but with some quality of life changes purposely designed for the assistance in challenge running. So it streamlines a couple of bits and bobs that we have to do in order to get through the game anyway. I don't feel cool enough to say what I was about to say, Dan. I was going to say I try to keep it real, but I am nowhere near cool enough to get away with saying I try to keep it real. But you get my drift. Janine, you've just pissed away your money on a dire hit, my love. One day you'll learn. Not today, but one day. Yes, there is a leaderboard. After we have done this run, we will bring it up on the leaderboard to see exactly where we are. Woo, we got round the dickhead spinner there, and we got caught by that dickhead spinner. Right, I am, after this battle, going to have to very quickly look away from chat, because this is some new movement I've been learning. This is Rock Tunnel without flash. So I do have to look away from chat and try and concentrate for just a moment. Kanbei is doing a fantastic explanation of what you can expect around these parts. Off the top of my head, I'll tell you what, before I go into that, end of the line backport. Is it this one? There we go. ZANGOOSE actually is fastest at the moment. So 107.47, we're not going to hit that time today. We've had an absolute shocker. We were supposed to be doing Hawlucha. coding completely went tits up. So we're doing a backup run here, just so we can get something across the board. We're not going to get through the rest of this challenge in under 90 seconds. But we shall see how we do. I reckon a 120 or so is probably on the cards. Let's unpause the timer and let me try and get through Rock Tunnel without any kind of flash. Ball to the top of the screen. And then it's left, down. And then down, left, up, right, all the way up. Get off the bike and that. Right, down, left, down, left, down. Repel wears off, that's fine. And then we're out. Thank God for that. Slacking doesn't have its ability Truant in Generation 2, so it's phenomenally busted. I'm starting to feel confident with flashless Rock Tunnel as well. I'm not sure if you've all noticed, but it's starting to feel a little bit more fluid. Slacking in Gen 2 is one of the most fun broken Pokemon you could ever run. Meant to Ether before this battle, but we didn't, so we deal with it. It really is the growth rate that lets down Slacking. I'm also just coming back after an enforced break of... How long was it? About 6 weeks due to illness. So my movement and stuff is not quite as good as it could be at the moment. I'm still very much re-warming up. I'll tell you the trouble with nerfing speed. You get the Quick Claw after 2 badges. And in Gen 2, the Quick Claw's a 23% chance of proccing. So slow speed isn't really the nerf it should be compared to anything else. We see that with the Ursaring finish. Thinking of Ursaring, if we gave it Swords Dance, that would be the single most busted Gen 2 Pokemon. Ursaring with Swords Dance. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think that Slacking also gets access to the punches. Which means that Fire Punch beats up Jasmine's Steelix, which arguably would be the only threat, because Steelix has such physical bulk that it can withstand even the highest physical attacks. We did do Slowbro and Slowking as end-of-the-line videos. Oh, I think that was at the start of the year or the end of last year. It's all melding into one. But we've definitely done them in the not-too-distant past. And just a reminder, if you are new around these parts and you're not aware, if you want to play any of these backports for yourself, I don't release the full ROMs, but I do release the patches on my website, trainersquidgy.com, so you can patch your own version of Pokemon Crystal and play with the exact same setup I've got here. I do need to fix those result commands, actually, to factor in the new series that we're doing. I've decided the extra help series, the X item series, is just gone now. That one didn't work anywhere near where I wanted it to. So we're going to do gym leader challenges, I think, in their place. Right, 3 more badges left to go. 3 more badgers left to go, if you like. Any more thunderstorms in the area? No, they all seem to have fizzled out for now. Hidden Power Ground really is overpowered. It really is a shame, you know, that we don't have an answer for Morty without getting Hidden Power, because if we did, then this run has the potential to be one of the smoothest out there. So, I will show you, actually. We're towards the end of this run anyway. So I'll show you how I set up the run to begin with. Because we've added some fairly fun quality of life stuff. Let me just use a max repel. My bag management has been dog shit in this one. Like, genuinely one of the worst bags I have ever had. But yeah, I will show you how I set up a run. You know what, Gemma? I've never given it that much thought. Like, why is ground super effective against rock? I suppose it's probably something to do with erosion and some geological process, but it would take a much smarter person than me to figure out the exact reason. Final gym leader, blue. Oh, we didn't split for Blaine. 18-second Blaine split, absolutely fine. This is dangerous, but we are going to try setting up against this Pidgeot. I reckon a couple there. It's going to be the Rhydon that's terrifying. Alakazam's fine. We do not currently, by the way, outspeed the Espeon. Wrong move. I think Espeon, or do we? Is it 184 or 194 for Espeon? Speed tie the Espeon at very worst now. That was blue. Here's his mistimed trainer card. That makes a lot of sense. Seismic erosion. I did misread Until They Are Sand as Until They Are Sad, and I think that might be one of my favourite dyslexia moments of recent times. Because I'm just imagining rocks getting really, really miserable as they're crumbling away. Alright, time for me to go to my doom and figure out this one. Item ball bottom left. 1, 2, 3. All up, all left, all up, all right, all down, all right, all up. 1 left, all up, all left, all up, all left, all up, all right, all down. One up. All right, all up. Left, up, right, up. Yay, we made it through the cave. Get ready for time. I misclicked. Time was about 1:16:36 that time. So let's get that onto the leaderboard. See where we end up. Well, that's a Porygon 2. That's full of lies. There we go. Considering I didn't do any prep work, under 10 minutes slower than when I was really on form with that ZANGOOSE. I'm not going to complain. But yeah, that was not a bad little backup run, all things considered. I'm wondering, you know, do I have anywhere my old ones? Welcome in, Malisalis. I hope you're doing very well today. Is this the old one? This is the old leaderboard before we did a bit of a reset of the rules. So I'm just having a look on here, see if there are any that we think stand out as being worthy of our new rules redo. I reckon Walrein could be interesting to do fully evolved from the start. Although it will have a shit time at red. These are all backports as well, don't forget. Regigigas would be fun. Its sprite is going to be a pain in the ass. Gen 6 plus Azumarill would be good. I do want to double check the huge power. We did already do it though, didn't we? Somewhere. In one of these leaderboards. There have been so many that we have done over the last 3 years that I am starting to forget a lot of them. So, we're not going to do Flamigo today. I do fancy actually doing Flamigo on a stream fairly soon, because I am a little bit out of time, unfortunately, today. However, I will get Flamigo set up, so... What day are we today? We're Monday today, aren't we? Do we fancy same time, same place tomorrow? 2 PM United Kingdom time. And we'll do Flamigo. And maybe another ZANGOOSE run, if we got time. I will set up the Flamigo run now. So, if you aren't familiar with the changes to Pokemon Crystal in the Challenge Run patch, we have certain options that we can do. So, update starter Pokemon. Flamigo is probably going to be best. It's bloody Hawlucha again. It's shown its face. Pretend this is Flamigo. And then we have set hidden power type, and we just go through a list and set our hidden power type. So for this one, I'd go Rock if it was actually Flamigo. And then you have the option for your HM users to be guaranteed encounters. That streaming flag is just for me. And that is how we set our hidden power. There are other options here, which are split out in the latest version, actually. Where you can do things like hit Legends Arceus hidden power, modify your hidden power type to top, middle, low, high, and high, middle, and stuff like that. Abilities, Mega Evolutions if I've bothered coding them in. Level cap. Rival starter can change as well. There's metronomes, there's move tutors, there's a hell of a lot of stuff in there. If you do want to find out everything, then this is the place to go. But with that, I am unfortunately out of time for today. And that is a real shame. I've had a lot of fun today. So before I go, of course, there are many, 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 many millions of people I want to thank. But the biggest thank you of all goes to all of you in chat for being around. All of you lurkers, thank you as well. Leave a like on the stream. But thank you to Alachango. You've come up again in my viewer activity feed today for joining at Pokeball tier. Thank you for the upgrade to Premier Ball, Kanbei. Thank you for Pokeball tier, Andrew, even though that was the other day. And thank you to Kanbei for the £2 super chat, to Metal Hammer for the €5 super chat, to Kanbei for another £2 super chat, yes. Thank you, Kanbei, for a £2 super chat. Dan W for the very, very kind and generous $49.99 super chat. That really was so, so kind of you. You don't have to do that. Really, really, you don't. Alachango for the $3.50 and Kanbei for the £2 as well. Thank you all so much for tuning in on what has been a remarkably scuffed stream today. I will be back tomorrow, same time, same place. We'll run a very angry bird, and then you never know, we might run a very angry cat ferret again as well. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody, whatever time zone it is for you, and I will catch you all in about 22 hours.